So if you can get a new piece of paper, we're just going to put down on your sheet a cube. And I want you to start by just making a square on your paper. And a square is just two sets of parallel lines, right? Parallel line here, parallel line here. So parallel lines, two sets. Now, in order to make a cube the right way and not the wrong way, we have to learn a basic principle or a couple basic principles for drawing a cube. I like to start with a square, and then I like to take this middle or this corner here, we'll call it the middle of the cube, and just make a diagonal line like so. So square, upper right corner, a diagonal line. And a cube is nothing more than sets of parallel lines. So if I know this line and I know the one opposite or below it has to be parallel, so I have to put the same exact line below. So same exact line as here goes here, but it also goes over on the opposite side. So it goes on the far left and the bottom right. So you have two additional sets of parallel lines here across from each other. Now once we have these three lines put in place, we know the answer to these outside back ones because they're parallel from this one and parallel from this one. So if I know this one here, it's the same exact one over here, and if I know this one, it's the same exact one over here. This helps you avoid making weird cubes like that. Again, just sets of parallels. You start with your square, parallel, 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 parallel. So that's cube one. And a cube has three planes exposed here. So we've got three planes. And I wanted to show you one more cube, and it's going to be a set of parallel lines like so. And then an angled set of parallel lines. So we had a square in the first one, and then we're making like almost like a diamond look in the next. So it's, again, if you go a little bit past, you flesh it out and you draw a little bit past, it's fine. But again, the key is they have to be parallel, no matter what. All right. So if you have this, we know the answers to everything else. So we've got kind of this offset square. I call it more like a diamond. But again, the key is these lines, these diagonals are parallel, and these ones are parallel. We're going to, again, go in the upper right corner and put a straight line out there. And then if we know this, we know the other two. It's parallel. There. Parallel here. So again, opposites. Gotta be parallel. And then how do we close it? Well, we know how to close it because we have to make parallel lines to each of these. So if this one's like that one's like that. If this one's like that one is like that. And then we can go in and block it in. So there's our other type of cube. So this one's what we call more in perspective. It has a little bit more depth to it than this one. And then we have one more that's a two-sided. So all of these are three-sided ones, but where there's ability for us to make a double-sided plane or cube. And how you do that is we're going to make the square again, two sets of parallel lines. Now this one here is what would be one if it's looking back into space. So I just try to kind of do something like so. I lightly cut it in half with a real light line, and you can draw almost like what would be a roof or a triangle on top. So if I drew real hard here, it would look like this. So kind of like a house, right? But the key is, to make it a cube, we have to have a parallel line. So we have to have another parallel line that's across from this top, and we just do something like so. And now we have a two-sided, a front and a top. And then you can erase this part away. Again, just a little cube building 101. We're going to mainly stay with the three-sided cube, though, for what we're going to do. Again, you can mess around with the two-sided one. It's up to you. But we're going to work in more or less in the double or the triple-sided cube. So this is a two-sided, or two planes. Two sides, two planes, or three sides, three planes. And the nice thing about a cube is that you only have three values, because that's all you're going to get here. I'm going to move down here. I'm going to make myself one of those sideways looking cubes. For what we're going to do. So if you have a cube, or you want to draw a new one, then I'm going to take my eraser and just tidy it up a little bit. We're going to have a light source from our upper right, and it would shine onto our cube like so. And how I like to address doing the cube is this, like we do anything else. The side or the plane opposite the light source. You can give this a value of 5 or 6 right off the bat. This is our darkest side. It's opposite the light source. And we want to go either up and down, which is vertical with our shading, or we want to go in a diagonal format. We don't want to cut across the form in odd ways. We want to try to keep the direction that the form is showing us. So in this case, we have a vertical up and down line, and then we have a angled line like so, and that's the direction I'm going to try to shade in. So this is my dark plane, and it's going to be completely shaded with a 5 or 6 value. Again, get your hand comfortable, get all the grain out. You can work it over, and if you need to do a little bit of figure 8 work, go ahead and put that in. Now we can make a call here and see which of the 2 remaining planes is going to get the next lightest value. I'll say that the top one is going to be, I'm going to leave the side light, and I'm going to give the top about a 2-3 value up here. So give your top plane the 2-3 value. Hold back on your pencil a bit. Again, move your paper into a position that your hand is most comfortable. Once you feel like you've did enough back and forth, side to side shading, then you can employ that figure 8 lightly over the top to work your grain out. And then I'll leave it up to you if you want to try to do a 1 pressure with maybe your H pencil, or you want to just leave this plane light. It doesn't make a difference to me. I'm just want you to know that this has 3 different values. So we have a light, a middle, and a dark value here. So we just really have 3 values in our cube. And that's kind of as easy and simple as it as it is to work with a cube. It's not that complex. It's probably more simple or simplified of all forms to do. You only have to be accountable for three sides or three planes.